Okay, babies, the previous class, we were talking about the use of gerunds and infinitives, and we began talking about gerunds. Don't forget that a gerund is a verb plus ing, is the ing form of a verb, and an infinitive is the normal way, yeah, without conjugations, without anything, just to sleep, to jump, to eat, to whatever, okay? We are going to continue today with this explanation. I am going to share with you my screen, and we are going to continue. Don't forget to take notes, it's really important for you.
Teacher,
Tell me.
you can put the first part of the slides, please.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
At the end, baby. At the end, at the very end of the class, as soon as I finish with the explanation, you are going to have some time to present, okay? Don't worry. But now let's finish with this explanation. That's the most important thing. So, are you talking about this part or this part?
The
The other one, the first one, this one.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay, so guys, as I told you the previous class, in English we can use some verbs with some things with gerunds in some sentences, and in other cases we are going to use infinitives. Please let me know as soon as I can change this slide.
You can change, teacher.
No?
I take
Okay.
a picture.
Okay. So, we said that we have three main uses when we use a gerund. The first one is that we can use it as a subject. In that case, you are going to have the gerund at the very beginning of the sentence, like this example. You can use it also as an object, like this case, I like sleeping. You can have two verbs together. So you are going to have one verb, that in this case is like, and then a gerund to indicate that this is like the complement. And it's also a noun. Or you can have it after a preposition. This is the last part that we talked about the previous class. After a preposition, like in this case, about. Here is a question for you guys that I didn't have time to do it. What is a preposition? You never answered that to me. What is a preposition? Who knows? Or what do you imagine? What is a preposition? What is that? No one, no one? For example, if you have prepositions of place, you can say in, on, at, between, behind, under, next to, in front of. What is a preposition? But for example, this one, about. No one? Okay.
It's like a connector?
It's maybe like a connector, but it is not going to work like a connector, because a connector is the word that you are going to use, as the word is saying, to connect two parts of one sentence, yes, to make it coherent. In the case of a preposition, it's a word that you are going to use to express the relation that you have between the first part and the second part of the sentence, yeah, like the connection that they have. For example, in this case, I'm excited about traveling. I am saying that traveling makes me happy. That is the relation that I have between this second part and this first part. For example, if you say, the cat is in the box, the relation is that you are going to imagine a box, and then you are going to know that you have one baby cat in that box. And you can imagine that because you have a relation, yeah? So don't forget that. A preposition is a word that you can use to express relation between the two parts of the sentences. Okay, questions about it? In order to make it easy, I am going to show you this. This is a prepositions list. This is really important, okay? So as I was telling you, a preposition is a word that shows the relationship between a noun or a pronoun and some other word or element in the rest of the sentence, yeah? Don't forget that noun is like the object, the subject, the things that you have, or the things that are doing the action, or that are the complements in a sentence. We saw that the previous class. So here you have an entire list. These are the most common prepositions, the most used one. And don't worry, at the end of the class I am going to send you an email with all of these images that I am going to show you. Yeah? Because I need you to have it and to learn it. So we are going to check really fast the meaning of some of these prepositions. So for example, what is the meaning of abroad? What do you think?
A través.
No, no es a través. What about abroad?
In a other country.
Something like that, like in another country, en el extranjero, extranjero, something like that. What is the meaning of among? This one.
Entre.
Entre. Yeah, it's a synonym of between. What is the meaning, for example, of beneath? It's a synonym of under.
Debajo de.
Debajo. Yeah, very good. What is the meaning of due to? We use it a lot in English. Due to.
Debido a algo.
Debido a.
Debido a.
So we don't have class due to the meeting with this person. Something like that. Due to. This one is really useful. Please learn it. What about following?
Siguiendo.
Or the next one. Another thing. What about out of?
Afuera de.
Yes, so for example, if I say, I am out of control, or you are out of control. Yeah, fuera de. And let's check the last one. What about towards? What is that? Towards. Or toward. What is that? Hacia.
Como que no, hacia algo.
Hacia.
Todavía no sé.
Yeah, hacia. When you go towards something. Tell me.
What is the meaning of owing to?
What are you? This one?
Yes.
Who knows? No one? It's like a synonym of due to. A synonym. So if this is a synonym, what is the meaning? Owing to is a synonym of due to.
Debido a.
Debido a. Yeah, this is to express consequences or the fact that you have something because some other thing. Debido a. Okay, guys, I am going to send you this image. Don't worry, be happy. And of course, guys, you have prepositions of place. So, for example, at. I'm at home. If I say, I'm at home. You have
En casa.
in, yeah, in a place, yeah. You have, for example, in. What is the meaning of in? Just in.
Dentro.
On. This one. The cat is on the box. What is that?
Sobre.
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 Sobre. What about under?
Debajo.
Debajo. What about between?
Al lado.
No, it's not al lado. Between is in the middle of. The cat is between two boxes. What about behind?
Ese sí es al lado.
No, that it's like detrás.
¿Detrás?
Yeah. What about next to?
Siguiente. No sé. Al lado.
Al lado. Very good. And there you have like a lot of prepositions of place that you can learn. Okay. So I am going to send you this, but by now we are going to continue. Don't forget, always after a preposition you have to use a gerund. Yeah. But there is also some moments where you have to use gerunds. And one of those moments are, for example, when you have phrasal verbs. Do you remember some phrasal verb? Like turn off, get in, those words in English that has two parts with different meanings. Because for example, if you say get, what is the meaning of get? Just get.
Adquirir.
And what about in?
En. O
En.
entre.
But if you say get in, that is a phrasal verb and that means entra o entrar. Okay? Get into the place. So for example, when you have those words, phrasal verbs, you can also have a gerund. And if you have it with a subject, so for example, you can say like this one. Yeah, you have a verb, but then you have it to complement. So, questions up to this point? Questions about how to use gerunds in English? The form of the verb with ing. Okay, let's continue then. Now we have this.
No, teacher, I have a question.
Tell me, baby.
I don't understand well how I can use with, o sea, cómo usarla bien con siendo un objeto.
An object is like when you have it as a complement of the things that you are saying. This is usually used, for example, when you have verbs like this one, like. So you can have two verbs in the same sentence. You can say I like sleeping, pero no vas a decir a mí me gusta durmiendo. Vas a decir a mí me gusta dormir. In that case, the gerund is going to be the object of your sentence. It's going to be like the complement of your sentence. And of course, it's going to be at the end, or maybe at the middle of the sentence. So you can say, I like sleeping in my bed. Or you can say just, I like sleeping. But the condition, and you are going to know this because of two things. The first one is that you are going to have a verb before the gerund. A verb, an infinitive. Yeah? And then the other thing that you are going to use to know that this is a gerund as an object is that you don't have verb to be. Yeah? Because you have the verb with ing, but not verb to be. That means that this is not working as a verb, but as a noun. Okay? So it's basically that. You use a gerund as a complement of the sentence. Okay, Gabby?
Yes, teacher.
Any other question, guys? Let's continue then. Now let's talk about an infinitive. As I told you, the infinitive is the normal form of the verb. But when you are going to write an infinitive, it is really important in some of the cases, or almost in every case, to write to. If I say to go, to call, to sleep, when you use a verb in infinitive, you have to write to. So how are you going to make infinitive? You just have to write to plus the base form of the verb. We are going to check these two uses that we have here. Mariana, can you please help me reading the first one?
Okay. You use it after a verb. They want to go home.
Okay, very good. You use it after a verb. So in this case, this is going to be working as a verb, not as a noun. Yeah? That is the difference, for example, here. Here you have a verb and then you have a gerund, but this is going to be like a complement. In the case of infinitives, these are going to be working as a verb. Those are verbs and are going to work like verbs. Yeah? So, they want to go home. You have here one verb. What is the meaning of want?
Querer.
Querer. So as I am telling you, you can have just they want to go home. It's important to add to go. And what is the meaning of to go?
Ir.
Yeah, so they want to go home, ellos quieren ir a casa. So the first use is that you can use an infinitive after a verb, because this is going to be working as a verb too. Questions about this first use? Okay, let's continue. Second use, Mariana, please help me reading the second one.
After an object. I told her to call the To call me.
I told her to call me after an object. As I am telling you, the object is the part that is going to complete the sentence. So, I told her, you have one action here, and then you just have to complete it, to call me. But the way that you are going to use to complete this one is with another action. Le dije a ella que me llamara. Ambos son verbos, ambos son acciones. Entonces puedes complementar esta primera parte con otra acción. In that case, you are going to use infinitives because you have one verb and then you have to complete it with another verb. To call. What happened if I say I told her calling me? Is that okay?
No.
No, it's not okay because I am using call as a noun, entonces no tiene ningún sentido. Si yo lo dijera en español diría como yo le dije llamarme. So it's not like really useful. Can someone please tell me the things that are in the chat? Because I am not checking the chat.
Teacher, I put a commentary. Teacher, I have a problem with the internet. I can, how do you say, reiniciar?
You have to turn it on again.
Yes, teacher. I can end the call 1 minute for.
Yeah, go ahead. Anyway, we are recording this, so please check it as soon as. If you have questions or something, just check it. But go ahead, baby. Fix the internet problems and let me know as soon as you come back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so dears, as I was telling you, after an object, if you realize this first use and this second use are really similar because you have verb, and then you have an infinitive, an infinitive. What is the difference? That you have, for example, here, someone or a person who is receiving the action. Un objeto es como lo que recibe la acción, lo que está sucediendo, ¿listo? So, I told her, el que está recibiendo la acción es ella. Yo le dije a ella está recibiendo mi acción, por eso es el objeto de mi oración. So, the only difference is that between the verb and the infinitive, you are going to have an object. Questions about the second use? No? Okay, we have another use, and it's with another form, and it's after adjectives. So, what did I tell you that is an adjective? What is an adjective? I told you at the beginning of the call.
Adjectives.
Yeah, and what is that? For example, if I say Maria is beautiful, what is the adjective in that sentence?
It's like to describe an object or a person.
Very good. The adjective is the thing or the word that describes my noun or my pronoun, yeah? The person or the object, like the characteristics of something or someone. So you can also say, you can also use to or to plus the base, the infinitive form, after adjectives. Or for example, if you are using, modal verbs, that is the only case where you are going to use infinitive forms without to. Por ejemplo, en verbos modales, es el único momento en el que me vas a utilizar infinitivos sin to. So, for example, you can say, you should visit the doctor. You may travel to Europe. Can you see that I have the normal form of the verb, but without to? And that is because I have a modal verb. But that is the only exception. Questions about it? No questions about the use of infinitives? Okay, let's continue then. This is the easy part. Now we are going to check how can we change gerunds and infinitives into negative. And as you know, as everything in English, the easy way to change everything into negative is by adding the word not. So we are going to check the first examples. Gerunds can be made negative by adding not. So Juan Pablo, can you please help me reading the first example?
Okay, teacher. It work.
Okay, he enjoys not working.
Listo, profe.
Okay, thank you. So the first example, he enjoys not working. Very good. Natalia, please help me with the second one.
The best thing for your health is not smoking.
Very good. The best thing for your health is not smoking. So can you see in this case, how am I using the gerund? As a subject, as an object, or what? How am I using this? Who can tell me? After prepositions, what is the use that I'm giving to gerunds in these two examples?
Like a preposition, I think.
No, because you don't use it as a preposition. You use it after prepositions. In this case, in which part of the sentence you have the gerunds, at the beginning or at the end?
At the end.
So that means
As an object.
I am using this as an object. Very good. He and J is not working. This is the complement, and this is the action that is receiving this is the thing that is receiving the action. Yeah? The best thing for your health is not smoking. This is the one that is receiving the action, and it's at the end of my sentence. In this case, I am using gerunds as an object. Let's continue with the second part. Infinitives can be made negative by adding not, of course. So, Isa, can you please help me reading the first example?
I decide not to go.
Very good. And the second one is going to be done by Santiago. Can you please help me reading this?
Yes, teacher. All the text that is in the image.
This one, the most important.
Okay, the most important thing is not to give up.
Very good. So, in the first case, or actually in these two cases, how am I using the infinitive? After an object? After a verb? Who can tell me?
As a verb.
After a verb, yes. In the first one, the verb that I have is decided not to go. So as I told you, you can have it, for example, like, I decided not to go. No, you have to add to because you have a prior verb that is decided. And what about the second one? What is the verb that I have in the second sentence? Verb what?
Give. Give. Is.
So what is the name of this verb? Verb to be, yeah? So you have to verb together, is and to give up. So the most important thing is not to give up. Questions about how to make gerunds and infinitive in negative? Nope?
Not.
Let's continue. Okay, I am going to give you some verbs here, but then I am going to show you a bigger list about this one. You have to memorize these guys because this is going to be really important for you. There are some verbs that you have to memorize in order to know if you have to use gerunds or infinitive. So let's check the first one. Use a gerund after, always, every single time that you have these verbs, you have to use a gerund no matter what, even if this is a verb. Si incluso si es un verbo, you can say avoid to go. No, avoid going. Always, gerunds after this verb, please learn it. So, the first one, avoid. What is the meaning of avoid?
Como evadir. No sé.
Yes, avoid, evitar. Discuss.
Discutir.
Dislike.
Disgusto.
Yeah, something that you don't like. Don't mind. So, for example, if you say, I don't mind going to your house.
Teacher, no pienso ir a tu casa.
I don't mind. I don't really mind about it. So, don't mind. Tell me, baby.
If I say I don't think so, that it's correct?
Yes. Because you are not using like gerunds or infinitive actually. You are just completing the sentence with another part because so is not a verb. So I don't think so, okay? So don't mind is when you don't really care. Como que no te importa hacer eso. I don't mind going there. I don't mind visiting. I don't mind traveling to Europe. Como no me importaría, no me importa, okay? What about enjoy?
Disfrutar.
Feel like.
Sentirse como.
Practice.
Practicar.
Quit.
¿Quieto? No, no sé.
No, quieto es quiet. Quit.
Dejé de dejar.
Dejé de dejar. So. Más va relacionado a renunciar a algo. ¿Ya? No tanto de, ay, yo dejé eso en la casa. I quit this at home. No. It's more like I quit smoking. Yes? And what about suggest? Yeah, very good. These are some of them. I am going to show you more. What about infinitive? You have to use infinitive always, always, always after this verb. So agree. So for example, you can say, I agree to do your homework. What is the meaning of agree?
Estar de acuerdo.
Very good. Be sure.
Estar seguro.
Choose.
Elegir.
Decide.
Decidir.
Expect.
Excepción. Expectativa.
Esperar algo. Yes, I expect to travel to, yeah, this place. Esperar algo. Hope.
Como esperar, como sí, como esperanza o fe.
Yeah, esperar. So I hope you to get better. Learn.
Aprender.
Need.
Necesitar.
Plan.
Planear.
Okay. Seem. It seems to me.
Parecer.
Very good. Want.
Querer.
Querer. Wish.
Desear.
Would like.
Como
Me gustaría. Yeah, don't forget that this is like a conditional. I would like to win the lottery, but this is not real. Don't forget about it. These are some verbs that you have to take into account when you are going to use infinitive. But you have also verbs where you can use gerunds or infinitive and it's going to be okay. So in this case, we have these verbs. First one, begin.
Empezar.
Can't stand.
No puede quedarse.
no puedo esperar.
Not really. Who can give me more?
No puedo quedarme, por así decirlo.
No. I can't handle it. For example, in my case, yes, I can't stand listening reggaeton, or I can't stand to listen reggaeton music. For example, yeah. No lo soporto. I can't stand that. What about continue? Continuar, hate.
Odiar.
So I hate visiting my auntie, or I hate to visit my auntie. Pueden usar ambos. Like. So I like traveling, I like to travel. Both. Love.
Amor.
Same. Amar. This is a verb. In this case, amar is like a verb. So I love eating hamburger. I love to eat hamburger. Yeah. Prefer. Preferir and start.
Empezar.
Very good. Questions about it? I am going to send you these images where you have a list with examples. So I need you to check it, yeah? So verbs followed by gerunds, and you have a list. Gerunds, only gerunds, and nothing else. A list, and then you have examples. I need you to take a look of this, because this is going to help you. So I'm going to send you 2 images of this one. Give me 1 second, because I'm having troubles with my mouse. Okay. And I am going to send you this one, and I am going to send you this one. So verbs followed by gerunds. So you have a list, and you have examples. Please take a look of this. You need it. I am going to send you also this one. That is verbs followed by infinitives. So you have the verbs, and you have the examples. And I'm going to send you 2 images. This one, and this one. As you can see, you have a lot of verbs. So it's important for you to take a look and to try to remember these verbs, because that is going to make it easier. For example, if you are writing something in an international test or something like that, you are going to know that if you have this verb prefer, you have to use infinitive. So would you prefer to live in the country instead of a town? because I prefer to do this instead of that, something like that, yeah? So you have to remember these verbs. So I am going to send you this in the message I am going to send to your emails. Let's continue. Questions up to this point, guys? What is the important thing between infinitives and gerunds, guys? The important thing is that, first of all, of course, you need to memorize the verbs that you have to use in order to memorize it, yeah? So there are some cases, as I was telling you, where you have to use gerunds and some cases where you have to use infinitive, right? So you have to memorize it. Then you have to be ready and to learn and to know the uses that you can give. So for example, in gerunds, you had 3 uses that I showed you, more or less 4. So the first one, in infinitives, in gerunds, this is going to work as a noun, not as a verb. So the first use, as a subject. The second use, who can tell me? In gerunds?
As an object.
As an object. The third use?
After a preposition.
After a preposition or after phrasal verbs. Very good. Please memorize that. And what about infinitives? You can use infinitive. In the case of infinitive, it is going to be working as a verb because it's a verb. So the first use, after what?
After a verb.
After a verb, so after another verb. And the second use?
After an object.
After an object. So that means that you have a verb, then you have a person or something like that, and then you have another verb that is to. So told her to wait. Something like that. Usually the objects that you are going to have usually are her, his, them, yeah, like the persons. And you have another thing. After what? After, what is the name of those of the words that describe something? At.
Can you repeat the question, teacher?
Yes, you have to use also infinitive after the words that describe something. What is the name of those words? At.
Adjective.
Adjectives. Very good. And what is the exception? Where you have to use infinitive without to. When you have what? After what? Modal?
Modal verbs.
Modal verbs. In that case, it is going to be the only time where you are going to use the infinitive without to. So you should visit the doctor because you have a modal verb that is going to replace to. Questions?
Modal verbs are
should, could, may, can, all of those ones. Have to.
Can you send us a list of the modal verbs?
Of course I can. Modal verbs. Let me take note, otherwise I will forget it. My dears, do you have questions about the use of gerunds or infinitives? If you have cleared the uses and then a gerund is ing and an infinitive is to plus the verb, you have everything solved. You have everything fixed. As you don't have questions, we are going to solve some activities where you are going to practice. Tell me.
O sea, que en infinitivo es an example can be I don't know, I'm going to decide something? Or...
Not really.
Yeah.
Because you are using, in this case, well, maybe it works, porque tienes un verbo antes, pero el verbo está con ing. I am going to visit my mother. So that's infinitive, because you have one verb and then you have infinitive after that verb. Like this example. Yeah? So you have it and you can use it like that. Very good. Or you can say, for example, I don't know, I like or I would like to travel to Europe. ¿Ves? Tienes un verbo y luego un infinitivo. But what happens if you want to use gerunds? Can you give me an example with gerunds, maybe?
Teacher, I don't know.
You just have to put it with ing. So let's use a gerund as a subject. You can say, for example, Eating hamburger is delicious. Y no estás diciendo comiendo hamburguesas delicioso, estás diciendo comer hamburguesas delicioso. Yes? Who can give me another example? Of gerunds as subject. Who can give me another one? Who wants to try?
Like wearing shoes, no, blue shoes is so ugly or something like that.
Yeah, wearing old shoes is awful. Very good. Who can give me another one?
Are you always happy helping a friend in a trouble?
No, because in this case you are using verb to be. That means that you are using this as a verb and not as a noun. Porque hiciste una pregunta, are you always helping? ¿Estás siempre ayudando? So no. Give me another one. Dime el mismo ejemplo, pero sin pregunta. You can say, ayudar a un amigo es espectacular. How can you say that? Mariana?
Helping friends is trouble?
Something like that. So helping a friend is amazing. And there you have gerund as a verb. Questions about it? Is it clear? Okay, anyway, we are going to practice to make it easier. Well, we are going to be solving a set of activities in order to reinforce our explanation. Please, Isa, can you please let me know as soon as it's like at 9 and 15 minutes, okay? Because you have to make your presentation, but I am not going to be checking the...
Okay.
So 9 and 15, please let me know. Well, dears, we are going to solve some activities in Quizlet. So don't forget that you will need your cell phone for this.